Hello, and welcome back to Everyday Consciousness. My name is Elaine Iwicki, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the idea of trust. So, in A Course in Miracles, it teaches you how to be a teacher, and the first attribute a teacher has is the ability to trust. So, as I was thinking more and more about this concept, I realized that the places in my life where I trust the most, I'm very confident and I allow things to unfold naturally, and they usually happen beautifully. Like the absolute best things happen when I'm fully trusting of myself, of the situation, and whatever might happen is just going to happen, and I can allow for it and accept it and enjoy it. In those cases, I have so much confidence. And then what ends up happening is the best things, like things that are better than I could have expected. A lot of times things that happen are very good and very unexpected. And I notice that in places in my life where I don't trust, I actually don't have the confidence. And what happens is I try to control the outcome. It's like I come with a preconceived notion of how things are supposed to go. And how often is that right? So then I start trying to control, and then when things don't go the way I think they should, then I start to have like these emotions about it, and then I try to control more, and things fall apart, especially if I really don't trust, especially in relationships. When I feel like I don't trust, I might as well just like leave and never come back. Or if I don't trust that a relationship even has enough momentum to even get started, it's like I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it's my trust in the process that kind of dictates how much I'm going to try and how much I'm not going to try. So this idea of trust is the difference between success and less success. So trusting makes you more successful, and not trusting makes you less successful. And I believe the reason is that trust is actually the ground level, right? So trust is the land. If you bought land, that would be the trust. And then whatever house you built on top of it would be something else. So trust is the land that you build your house on. So when you're not trusting, you don't have the land. Even if you have the house, you're just like holding everything in your hand. And it's wobbling around and it's shaky, and you're just waiting for things to fall apart, and you're trying to control everything, and it's not ever going to work out as well. How do you trust, right? So how do I get myself to trust more? And what are the things that can work? What are the tools I use? I'm going to explain those. That is the first thing I do to give myself the ability to trust. The second thing I do is I try to tolerate the pain of my anxiety. So I'll feel the emotions come up, and then I have these thoughts like something's not right, something doesn't feel right. And then there's like an impulse, and usually my impulse is like typically to run away. So something's not right, something doesn't feel right, and I want to get out of the situation. So instead of just like running away at certain times, what I do instead is I try to tolerate these feelings in myself. So especially if they're really strong, then I'll just plant myself in the moment, and I'll let go of everything, all my story, like, so I have a story. Maybe what's happening is bringing up a memory and of some other tragic event that happened to me, or I'm reminded of like a certain person or a certain situation, and then so I have these thoughts like swirling around, and then all of these feelings associated with it, and just the biggest, strongest impulse to do something. So I just let it go for as long as I can. I try to tolerate myself and these thoughts and these feelings and these emotions, and I sit there and I just tolerate, and I just plant myself harder and harder and more into the moment until I'm just there and I can feel peaceful. And this will typically get me through any single situation. It's really hard, and I have actually done this. I've continued to go back even though I knew this is what I was going to have to do. But I noticed as I do this, especially if something in me knows there's something good there. So if I have any intuition that knows something good is here for me, but there's something in my conditioning or my natural responses that won't allow me to engage, I will show up every single time and meditate my way through my fear, and I will do it again and again and again and again. I swear to God. And eventually, every time, eventually it has worked out. Eventually I can get to the place where maybe I don't have to meditate and I can just sit there feeling a bit uncomfortable and just remind myself, this is all for my highest good. And so doing that has actually, I have acquired more, I've gained more, I've expanded my comfort zone, I found more success. So good things are happening, but it really rests on my ability to know that there is ground beneath my feet. I am building a house on land, and this is whatever happens is fine, and how it unfolds is how it's supposed to. Everything comes in its time, and if I don't have to worry about one thing, I don't have to worry about other things either. And that's typically the best way to get anything done. So my message for the day today is try to really focus on trust. If you can't, try to remember that everything happens for your highest good. Or if there's an intuition in you that feels like something good lies somewhere but you can't quite trust it, just try to plant yourself in the moment. So while you're there, you're not telling yourself stories and you're not allowing your thoughts and feelings to take you over and make you respond in a conditioned pattern. I hope this was helpful. I hope this inspired you. Thank you for watching. I will see you later.